All right, we are ready for the third coat of oil, which is step 11 in our process. The first thing I do is rub down the previous coat with this quadruple zero steel wool. Steel wool comes in different grades, just like sandpaper. Quadruple zero is the finest that they make, but I've found that not all steel wool is the same. Quadruple zero from our local hardware store is relatively coarse, more coarse than we like. There it is. Look at the difference. That's from our hardware store. That's quadruple zero. And that we use for the finish is from Germany, and it's a brand called Luster Sheen. And it is great. So as I'm going over this surface, every time we work the surface of the instrument is an opportunity for us to look at it and try to be aware of any anomalies that we need to address. And here, mainly what I'm doing, as the oil went on, it was wet. The shop is dusty. It's really hard to be in a completely dust-free environment. Experts would tell you there is no such thing. It's just a question of how fine a dust you want to remove. In any case, there's dust floating around and it gets stuck in the oil. And I'm just making sure that it all comes out, kind of denib it. All right, that's good. Now I blow it off because I don't want to get that steel wool dust under the finish. Roxy, a little squirt.
Roxy's only a little interested.
No, Roxy doesn't care this morning. She would if I didn't warn her.
It's too early.
It's too early for her. Okay, so I've already put the fourth coat of oil on that instrument there. I told you the other day that I go in order, so fourth coat, third, second, and that way the rag gets more and more charged as I go, where it needs to be more charged. So here is what the rag looks like after just doing the one coat of oil on that, the fourth coat, so step 13 on that one. And it's perfect because as the instrument absorbs more oil, it needs less. It doesn't take as much. And this is really, I think I've already said this, this is the last coat where we see a big difference in it. And I think it's maybe the first coat is huge because the surface gets wetted and it really changes how the instrument looks. But this coat, I don't know, something happens at that third coat because the instrument just lights up. I love that's my favorite coat to put on actually, is this one because it just looks so pretty when it's done.
Seems like every last little detail stands out, doesn't it?
Yeah. In terms of how I put it on, you'll notice that I follow the exact same order every time I do it. And the reason is that I think there's a lot to be said about muscle memory, and but also if you get interrupted, which can happen. We get a phone call, or Shar has a question, or there's something I want to talk about, and you always want to know where you were, what you've done. So the order itself doesn't necessarily matter, but doing it in the same order every time I think does matter. Remember that I'm making sure that I get the oil every time full coverage. If any coat misses a spot, it's something we have to go back and fix up. And I'm also making sure that I get into the cracks and crevices with the oil because I don't want dry spots. But I'm also making sure that I wipe that out really carefully because the cracks and crevices, mainly we're talking about the neck fretboard body joints. That's where oil can collect and look terrible. We don't want that. That's why we don't have the bridge on the instrument right now. So I don't know if the camera can pick up what a change that was from second coat to third coat, but
Yeah, it's hard to see.
just
But
gleams
all
now.
Of that little shimmer comes
I mean, you
out
look,
right in there, yeah.
you look at the top, which it's pretty. It's got, you know, the effects of oil, which is it's changed, it's made it darker, it's taken away some of the contrast, but it's a very matte, dull kind of finish. And here we go. And although this will, as it dries, dull out a bit, not much. So I told you I've seen a lot of true oil finishes and a lot that I don't like very much. So again, I'll repeat kind of the biggest mistakes made are too much oil going on, the oil being left on too long or not wiped off at all, and the cracks and crevices not getting cleaned out very well. All right, there we have it. Step 11 complete. Eye shop. Step 11, I like to do this shot down here. I have to use that guy's step 11 because our little birth of a Mya-Moe instrument is off reservation. It's not in the normal sequence. So anyway, there we have it. I better mark down here on my whiteboard that we did step 11. Only a few steps to go. All right, see you next time.